Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Virtual Lab Infra. Hope you all doing great. My name is Uttam Kumar and I have come up with new training series VMware vSphere Hypervisor. So if you're looking for a build a career in virtualization, system administration or cloud infrastructure, then you are in the right place. So in this complete training series, we will take you from beginner to advanced level in VMware vSphere Hypervisor. So one of the most in-demand virtualization platform used by enterprise worldwide. So what you will learn here, you will learn what is virtualization and how it works. Then we will talk about VMware vSphere Hypervisor. What exactly is hypervisor? What are the types of hypervisor? Types of virtualizations. Then we will talk about installing and configuring VMware ESXi or the latest version 8. Then we will discuss about deploying and managing vCenter server, creating and managing virtual machines, networking concepts. So like vSwitch, VLANs, port groups, storage. We'll discuss about a storage in our hypervisor like data stores, NFS or iSCSI. We'll discuss how to clone or template or snapshots of the VMs, high availability, HA and vMotions, DRS and resource management and real world lab demonstration. So this is not just the theory guys. Every concept will be explained with hands-on lab so you can practice along. So by end of this series you will be confident enough to work in real production environment, crack VMware related job interviews, build your own home lab. So whether you are a beginner or an experienced IT professional, this series is designed to give you a practical job ready. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel, Virtual Lab Infra. So let's begin. So first understand types of virtualization. So the virtualization, if I talk about virtualization, there are 6 type of virtualization. As you can see, we have application virtualization available, network virtualization, desktop virtualization, storage virtualization, server virtualization and data virtualization. Data virtualization also called hardware virtualization. So what is exactly the virtualization? So virtualization is nothing but physical hardware from operating system and application to improve efficiency and scalability and cost efficiency. In the simple word, virtualization, it is a process of process of helping you to improve your physical hardware and make them a proper utilization. For example, let's say we have a laptop, and if you are using a PowerPoint or if you are giving a presentation, so you are only utilizing, so very less resource utilization is being happen when we use the hardware without any virtualization. So when you have your laptop, so let's say I am giving a presentation of my training. So what I am using right now, so I am using very less resource right now. So at a time only this particular application is running and some of the storage is getting used. So less the remaining hardware or the resources are getting wasted here. To make that to make that useful or utilize the complete resources, the virtualization has come to the picture, and it helps us to virtualize our operating systems or resources and utilize them completely for our work. So virtualization is the process to virtualize your resources. So types of virtualizations are application virtualization, network virtualization, desktop virtualization, storage, server and data virtualization. So data virtualizations are nothing but hardware virtualization. So in this series we are going to cover hardware virtualization or server virtualization. So what is application virtualization? So application virtualization, where application runs without full installation on OS. So you don't need to install the applications on the operating system. Instead, you can virtualize them so that your end user can just simply open the application and make a use of them. Network virtualization creates a virtual network independent on physical hardware. So that includes virtual switch, which is vSwitch and VLANs. Desktop virtualization Desktop virtualization, like virtual desktops, run on a central server, and user access them remotely. Storage virtualization. Storage virtualization combines multiple storage device into one logical storage. Example, multiple disk. From single data store, you can make them use. So mostly it is used in SAN or NAS environments. So SAN is nothing but a storage area network. NAS is network attached to storage. So those things we'll discuss when those topics are come up. Then server virtualization. So server virtualization, a single physical server runs multiple virtual machines. So each VM has its own operating system like Windows, Linux. Example, one physical server, we can create 10 virtual machines. So virtualizing servers for our virtual machines called server virtualization. But now the last one, hardware virtualization. So core concept behind ESXi is nothing but hardware virtualization. So basically hypervisor. So what is hypervisor? Before understanding the hardware virtualization, so hypervisor is a software layer that runs or which executes on the operating hardware, one of the additional layer on the hardware, and which manage the multiple VMs, ensuring each VM gets allocated resources like CPU, RAM, storage, and operating systems independently. What does it mean? So hypervisor is a software layer Linux-based operating system, which is installed on the hardware. So there are two types of hypervisor actually: Type 1 hypervisor and Type 2 hypervisor. So Type 1 hypervisors are bare metal hypervisors. So what is bare metal? First, let's understand. Bare metal is nothing but the complete new hardware which doesn't have any operating system installed on it. So if you remember earlier days, we used to buy DOS laptops where there is no operating system used to be installed. So we used to buy them and then we used to install operating system. What, whether you want Windows 10 or Windows 7, whatever. So similarly, so bare metal hypervisors are hardware which doesn't have any operating system installed. So on the bare metal device or hardware device, we install the hypervisor top of that. So which is nothing but ESXi. So VMware has a product called ESXi, which is a hypervisor product we installed on our hardware, and with the help of that hypervisor, we can create multiple virtual machines, whether it is a Windows operating systems or Linux operating system. So two types of virtualization or hypervisor, type 1 and type 2. So type 1 is basically a bare metal type of hypervisor where you buy the hardware and you install the hypervisor on it, and then you virtualize them with multiple virtual machines like Windows operating system virtual machine or Linux operating system virtual machines. Where type 2 virtualization is nothing but, or hypervisor is nothing but, the lab that we are doing it. So we have a hardware which is laptop. We are installing hypervisor on top of operating system actually. So it's a third layer actually. Here if you see, hypervisor is on the second layer, wherein type 2 is on the third layer. So first layer is hardware where we have our Windows 10 operating system installed. On top of that, we are using workstation, VMware workstation hypervisor, and then we are creating a virtual machines. So type 1 virtualizations are hypervisor or virtualizations are used on organization based virtualization, where company buys the hardware like HP server or Dell server, Dell PowerEdge servers, and then they install the hypervisor on top of that, and then they virtualize them with virtual machines. So for lab practice, guys, we are using Type 2 virtualization, where we have our laptop, Windows 10 laptop. On that, we have installed a hypervisor, which is VMware Workstation, and then we are installing hypervisor, and then we are creating virtual machines. So virtualization is the process of virtualizing the resources. Hypervisor is the product of Hypervisor is the product which helps you to, a software layer that helps you to create a VMs, ensuring each VM gets allocated the resources. So hypervisors are provided by a company called VMware, which is we are going to discuss in this training, complete training. So VMware has its product called ESXi. So so VMware is using ESXi as a product of hypervisor. Microsoft Microsoft using Hyper-V. Citrix is using Gen Server. Also, we have Nutanix called AHV. So these are the uh, popular companies. They are providing hypervisors. So in this series, we are going to use VMware ESXi, and we'll discuss the complete throughout this training for ESXi, vCenter, and everything. So think of ESXi is the brain of that allows physical server to behave like a many servers. So understanding virtualization types and ESXi version is the first step of mastering VMware vSphere. So when I talk about vSphere, so vSphere is the product, like how we have Microsoft is the VMware vSphere is the company. How we have Microsoft is the company for our Windows operating systems or Windows product, Microsoft products. So vSphere similarly as a Microsoft, and VMware is the company, and hypervisor is the product that is helping you to virtualize your resources. So that's all, guys. The next session we will show you how to install ESXi, a hypervisor, on your VMware workstation, and how we can access them through the browser and configure and install virtual machines. For now, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.